Hey, Battle Bill here with another video, and today we're going to get into some more Premier Cup Go Battle League practice battles. Day 7 of No Go Battle League. I'm going through withdrawals. I have nowhere to channel my aggression, and my phone's been in the best condition that I've had it since I bought it. And that's because I just have nowhere to, I have no reason to want to just like chuck it and slam it like anywhere, no, I'm the only one that does that? Alright. But anyhow, I have some practice battles for you guys. Luckily, I have a pretty solid PvP community where I'm at, and I can always get in some good practice. And I missed Premier Cup. I've been practicing for the Sylph Cup. I don't want to just randomly jump on this train of Sorcerer's battles since it's towards the end of the month, and I'd only be doing it because I don't have any Go Battle League content. But next month, whenever that cup gets announced for what month? July, I'll make sure I'm more on top of that even if Go Battle League comes back. So today I have a little small sample size of some battles of a new Pokemon that I decided to try out, a Spice Mon, the #1 Spice Mon that Poco King listed in his little Spice video that he released a couple days ago, and that Pokemon is Glaceon. So let's talk about this team of 3 that I essentially put together with Glaceon as a lead. I backed it up with Rhyperior and Dragonite. Rhyperior mainly to deal with Glaceon's biggest counter, which is Metagross, so my Rhyperior is running Mud Slap as a quick move, and then Dragonite in the back because a Dragonite with some energy or possibly in a no-shield situation can beat a Metagross. That's very situational though, so that was more of my logic. I wanted to also have like additional coverage. I didn't want to just put 2 Metagross counters behind Glaceon, because if I did that, then that would just open a whole can of worms of weaknesses that the team could have. But honestly, I'm not exactly too in love with this team either, and I'm not too in love with Glaceon, and that could be for a couple reasons. It might be because I didn't place it in the best situations. It might just be because of the team comp. It could easily be my fault. But what I've also come to learn is that Glaceon is like a Glaceon, that should be its real name. It's very glassy, even at the Master League level, even maxed out. So I was having some issues even in certain positive situations to make it work the way I was hoping it was going to. When we talk about some of this gameplay, I had Glaceon on an Excadrill lead, and I had to get out of there essentially because I was going to lose that lead, and I did catch a nice Rock Slide with my Rhyperior, but then my opponent here matched my Rhyperior with the Dragonite, and he's going to be able to Dragon Breath me down like he just did. So my Rhyperior is down, but I did get a shield, and I'm like, okay, I can bring in Glaceon. Obviously I was going to call it Glaceon. I can bring in Glaceon here, and I should, even though I have way less health, at least with the extra shield, maybe I can farm down this Dragonite because these Ice Shards are going to do double super effective damage against opposing Dragonites. And what you'll notice is I'll start to get it lower and lower, but the Dragon Breaths, even though yes they are neutral, so that's probably why they're starting to really add up, and Dragon Breath is a pretty overpowered move, but I was really hoping I could commit to a farm down. So I debuffed it, my opponent had the shield, I swapped to catch the charge move, which is going to be a Dragon Claw here, because it was reduced. So I was hoping, I could save this shield, let my Dragonite eat it, and then hopefully my Dragonite could beat my opponent's last Pokemon. Ends up being a Togekiss, so this was GG. This was just not going to work out. And what I also come to notice is a Togekiss in the back gives my team a hard time, because Glaceon, what I want to mainly use it for in the lead is to catch Dragonite or opposing Togekiss leads. But if I'm not catching those as leads, Togekiss walls Dragonite, and then for my Rhyperior to beat a Togekiss, I need to get all the way to a Rock Wrecker, and with Mud Slap as a quick move, it takes a while to get there. So honestly, this is a pretty small sample size. I don't exactly win leads like I prefer. Like in this match, I have Glaceon on its biggest weakness being Metagross, so I had to immediately get out, and I bring in the hard counter, which is never the right play, but I didn't really feel too comfortable bringing in a Dragonite, and if my opponent had a Togekiss in the back, then my Dragonite just would have easily gotten walled. I mean, kind of luckily my opponent decides to keep their Metagross in, but what you'll notice is these Bullet Punches and this Meteor Mash that's coming through right now has to get shielded, because Rhyperior will get one-shot by Meteor Mash, the Bullet Punches are dealing super effective damage, and my opponent matches my Rhyperior now with a Snorlax. I go for the Surf Runaway, and I keep forgetting, I gotta remember that people love their Snorlaxes because they're bulky, which means they can try and save shields. So what I should have done there then, because I had plenty of energy, was I should have gone for the Rock Wrecker. Instead I went for the Surf. It did do a bunch of damage, and now I'm going for the Rock Wrecker, and it kind of seemed obvious at this point. So when this Rock Wrecker goes through, we're going to notice my opponent decides to shield it. So I'm not sitting in the best situation. My opponent's going for a charge move here, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to let Rhyperior go down. If it's a body slam, it's not going to take me out, but it ends up being a heavy slam, which is super effective, but doesn't get stabbed, so it gets me in like a weird health range where the Snorlax can essentially just lick me down. And now I'm like debating to myself, I gotta bring in Glaceon, because I don't want Glaceon matched up with the Metagross in the back. But I would have preferred to bring in Dragonite there, But again, that would have left Glaceon matched up with the Metagross in the back. So I had to bring in Glaceon. See, I'm really getting into a habit of calling it that. But I had to bring in Glaceon. I knew he had Heavy Slam, so I had to shield that, because who knows how much damage that would have done if I didn't shield it. I tried to over farm. I knew I couldn't go for the farm down because of how bulky Snorlax is. And that's the other issue with Glaceon, whereas it's so glassy, but it's not really dealing high damage. Yes, Icy Wind's not a strong move, Avalanche is a strong move, but even an Avalanche from a Glaceon is really not doing as much as I would hope in certain situations. So I'm going for another charge move here. I'm pretty sure I go for another Icy Wind just because, yeah, I got the shield, which was nice, but I wanted to lower the attack and then bring in my Dragonite and then hope that I could possibly take out the Pokemon in the back that my opponent had, but it ended up being another Togekiss. So these first two matches, really not off to the best start. So I guess I could have like adapted my team like again halfway through, but the whole point of practice is to try and see as many different situations as possible. So if I give up on a team of 3 I put together after 2 matches, yes, it's because there's a clear hole, but I could have just had some poor luck, and there might have been other situations where that team would have some positive matchups, and I would have won certain matches I might not have expected, and it could have had more strengths and weaknesses. So I had to find that out essentially. Now that I think about it more, if I ran Metagross in the place of Dragonite in the back, those last 2 matches would have been completely flipped, and those losses would have turned into wins, and maybe I'd have more of a positive attitude. So the way I feel about Glaceon might be more because of the team of 3 that I paired it up with. So let me know what you think of this team of 3. Let me know what you think of Glaceon, Rhyperior, and Metagross in the back. That could work. But the issue that I have with Glaceon is just the fact that if it's not in a positive matchup where it's dealing super effective damage, in a lot of its neutral matchups, it doesn't feel like a comfortable Pokemon to be running with. I do like the fact of running as a lead just because it has that Icy Wind, that easy debuff in the beginning. But I guess this is a pretty small sample size, so it's kind of hard to tell if it's going to work, like that Icy Wind debuff is going to work as nicely as it would from like an Articuno in Ultra League or like a Dugong in Great League. So this matchup does go a little bit differently. I was able to win the lead, and what you'll notice is this opponent here is the same opponent I'm going to face in the next match, because me and my friend, we did a bunch of battles. So this was like our first battle that we did in the set, and then I did a bunch of random teams, and then I was like, you know what, let me get in another battle with this team against him. So he didn't like expect it in the next battle. The next battle doesn't go as well as this battle does, but he had no idea. So I don't want you to think that, oh, you brought the same team back to back, obviously he's going to adapt and be able to counter it. That's not really what ended up happening. But either way, I'm going for a Rock Wrecker here. This will either grab the Dragonite's last shield, or it will take out its remaining health. He doesn't shield, it takes out the remaining health, and then he comes in with a Mamoswine, and I swap immediately into Dragonite. And this was like an obvious mistake. He could have farmed up way more. I guess he didn't really want to take a Dragon Claw that badly, but he could have farmed up way more and then threw the Avalanche, because that's going to one-shot Dragonite here. The reason why I had swapped like that is because Rhyperior was almost dead, and I wasn't completely paying attention to the top right corner. So I was like, let me bring in my full health Pokemon to try and get some sort of quick energy by swapping fast, and it could have bit me a little bit harder than it ended up doing. So Glaceon has a bunch of energy, luckily. I'm going to go for the Icy Wind. It actually grabs his last shield, and it debuffs him. And now I'm wondering, I don't know what his moveset is. I know he has Avalanche. I don't know if he's running Bulldoze or Ancient Power. But what we're going to notice here is he goes for Avalanche. And I'm pretty sure, well, Avalanche is obviously resisted because of the Ice typing. If you would have went for a neutral Bulldoze, that might have been better. Either way, though, the Avalanche was debuffed too. I wonder if it wasn't debuffed, how much more damage it would have done, because I still got Glaceon pretty low, which is concerning. Either way, I go for the Avalanche, and it's able to take out his Mamoswine's remaining health. But a Bulldoze would have been neutral, but Bulldoze is a worse move than Avalanche, just like energy efficient wise, and just like damage wise, damage per energy wise, essentially. So I don't know, but it gets stabbed, so I would assume a neutral Bulldoze from Mamoswine would do better than a resisted Avalanche. But either way, I was luckily able to take that match, and then we go into another match against him. Again, he didn't know what I was bringing, and we have a Glaceon on a Gyarados lead here, which isn't exactly the worst, but he's running Waterfall, which is chunking away at Glaceon, and these ice shards are only dealing neutral damage because of the fact that Gyarados has a water typing on top of its flying typing, fire typing. And I'm going to go for an Icy Wind. I don't get a shield, but it gets the Gyarados all the way in the yellow. So like this doesn't look that bad, but these waterfalls have added up so much that even debuffed, I have to shield whatever move is coming. This is most likely going to be a crunch, and whatever it is either going to take me out or get me so low that he's just going to farm down my Glaceon. So even this neutral matchup right here, and Gyarados is like a glassy Pokemon, so I was surprised he swapped. He brought in Machamp though, so he was trying to like counter me down real quick, dealing super effective damage. So I kind of panicked, so I went for my charge move right away. It was an Icy Wind though, and it did get Machamp halfway through its health. And then I bring in Dragonite, and I know, because I'm at a shield disadvantage, that I can't use another shield here. I know Machamp has access to Rock Slide, but it's also, again, nerfed by one stage because of the Icy Winds. But you're going to notice this Rock Slide still does a solid chunk. Like, Machamp's got a pretty high attack stat. Props to Machamp. I think it'll have some decent play in Premier Cup. At least more play than it did in Master League. So, I'm able to take it out, though, with the Dragon Breaths and wait and see what he decides to bring back in. He brought his Mamoswine again, and I'm like, okay, let's go for the Hail Mary. I decided to go for the Hurricane because I'm like, you know, it might be obvious to go for the Dragon Claw, but because of how glassy Mamoswine is, he was shielding no matter what, so I should have just went for the Dragon Claw there, and I would have been able to get off 2 Dragon Claws. Instead, he's just going to completely Powder Snow me down, which was very unfortunate. So now he's got a bunch of energy. I don't remember what I decided to do here. So let's wait until the switch timer runs out. I decided to go back. Oh, I went back in the Glaceon because 1, I was hoping it would have more health. 2, I was hoping the resisted Powder Snows wouldn't do so much damage, so I could at least get to another charge move. And 3, I knew he had so much energy, so I was kind of hoping he would just toss it at my Glaceon, but instead he farmed down. He made the smart play there, and now he's pretty much at 2 avalanches. So the rest of this match is not going to go so hot. I was kind of hoping maybe I could mud slap down, but he gets to another avalanche here. It's not going to take me out, but gets me all the way on the red, so that wasn't so great. And the rest of this match is history. He's got another Pokemon, he still has a Gyarados, and it knows Waterfall, so it came in, did 1 Waterfall, took out my Rhyperior, and that was GG. So now I'm wondering, well, if I was running Metagross against the Machamp in that situation wouldn't have been too bad. Running Dragonite was still better, but then the Machamp would have had to have gone for Cross Chops, which would have been neutral. But they would have gotten stab on it. I don't know. I wonder if having Machamp in that specific matchup might have benefited this team a little bit more. Either way, I'm not the happiest with this 3. So overall, I definitely would not recommend this 3. I do want to give some test runs with Metagross in the back in place of Dragonite, and I'll maybe let you guys know how that goes. Or I might just come with a completely different spicy team of 3. Hopefully, Go Battle League will be back soon. It's been a week, so that really worries me at this point. And also, the verdict is still out on Glaceon. I'm not the happiest with it, but I might not have set it up for success, so I will take part of the blame on that one. Either way, let me know a team of 3 you might pair up Glaceon with, where I could possibly do a better job. I will try and figure out a better team of 3, and I'm just going to continue playing around with Premier Cup Pokemon, because I've got about 20 of them, and I'm excited for some spice options. So either way, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.